great. And then, Rose, listen, you know well the Bible. If somebody would like to go look at Ezekiel chapter 38, they're going to find out that the future speaks about a future war in Israel that has not yet taken place because those nations are listed. And there's a nation that does not come against Israel in that war, and that nation is none other than Saudi Arabia, also known as Sheba and Dedan. So this is a remarkable thing, both prophetically from the Bible and also economically and politically for the world. This is quite a moment. I think we're looking at a reprieve moment where Trump has had this success, and we hope that it expands into securing Saudi Arabia into the Abraham Accords.
Very interesting. Actually, Pastor Jack, I did not know that from Ezekiel, and that's fascinating to hear that today. So thanks for sharing that. And that's very powerful. And you brought up Israel, and there's still that unrest that's happening right now between Israel and Gaza. And I just like, you think it's going to maybe slow down, or things are going to get better, but then it just rears its head in unrest. What are your thoughts on what's happening right now today in Israel? I know we have a lot of friends over there in that country. What do you think? What's happening right now in your life?
Well, yeah, thank you for that. Yes, it is true. We're heavily invested in Israel and the Middle East, both in Israel and broadcast programming throughout the Middle East. Having said that, I have been to the Middle East. I've been to Israel some 23 times, and so I speak from a little bit of experience when I say that there's a whole lot of people that are caught up in the radicalization of a few. Remember, if you've got a crowd of people and 5 of them are shouting, it feels like the entire crowd is shouting. Having said that, terrorism has to be starved out. It's got to be dealt with in a very blunt, in a very, very firm way. It doesn't respond to diplomacy. We all know that. New industry shows that. It doesn't respond to overtures of peace. Radicals and violence and terrorism has to be eliminated. So, for example, you, Rose, and I, we just watched this week, Israel has confirmed the elimination of, yet again, eventually, if Israel is allowed to do what it needs to do, they're going to run out of bad guys. The Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, they're going to run out of bad guys. People eventually get the message. If I'm the next guy to be installed as the leader, I've got about a 3-month shelf life. I'm going to be eliminated. This has got to happen, sad to say, but this is the way that it is. If they would just lay down their arms, as Netanyahu is calling for, and as Witkoff is calling for. I mean, look what Witkoff is saying. Just give us Israeli survivors from the captivity and give us some dead bodies of those captives, and we will pause for 45 days. We'll talk things out, and let's work this out. And the terrorist leader said, "No way, no, we're going to keep going." So, how do you talk to somebody who doesn't want to talk? Sad to say, in this world, there's wars and rumors of wars, and these bad guys have got to be eliminated. And I think we should let Israel keep doing what they're doing, because nobody's got the resolve to do it but Israel.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, and Netanyahu for that matter. Since we're on the topic of Israel, I thought it was interesting not too long ago, Bill Maher had talked about how the Democrats are doomed if they don't stand up to the radical anti-Israel propaganda that's coming out from the youth. And all of this goes, Pastor Jack, to the children not being educated, true education, the true history of not just this country, which would be really great if they understood the history of this country, but also if they understood world history, and they don't. And so now, even as Bill Maher, and I think it's great that people like him are speaking out about this, but he said that someone needs to tell the kids that America is not the society where women basically have no rights, that there's zero freedom of religion, and where dissent is punishable by death. He's absolutely right, but they don't know that. They have not been taught that, or they might say, I don't believe that's true, but it is true. And I think that we've done a great disservice to our country, to the world, by not educating our youth.
Well, your timing that question is perfect. I spoke last night at Biola University here in Los Angeles, and it was to thousands of homeschoolers, teachers and all, and they're devoted to teaching accurate history, both from world history and biblical history. Why? Because if you know history, you can make decisions about the future. And if you don't know it, then you don't know what to decide about the future. So here's, for example, Bill Maher. I really appreciate what Bill Maher is saying, but how about this? The camp that you and I traffic in, Rose, they know the truth. We know people who are raising students who know the truth. Bill Maher's audience, if Bill Maher needs to step it up even further, millions of people listen to Bill Maher. So if Bill Maher is listening to Rose Tanner right now, I would say, Bill Maher, what are you doing? You speak to the audience that we can't get to. That liberal conglomerate will not listen to a Jack or a Rose or a Sean. They just won't listen. But and I do agree with what Maher is saying, but Maher's got to step into his universe and speak that wonderful word that he did say is you've got to start teaching people the truth. Well, the lawyers within that camp, Rose, they've got to do it because they won't let you and I in. They won't listen to us. They think we're nuts. They think we're like nationals or we're somehow a pie in the sky kind of strange people. And yet we're lovers of history, and the reason why is because I believe personally that God is the God of history, but I definitely know the future. I look back at what to do and what not to do so I can make decisions moving forward as to what to do and what not to do. And until our kids get that foundation, which I believe history is the greatest foundation of all, until we get that down, we're not going to win the culture that is to follow in our footsteps. But if we do, there's a lot of hope. And so you and I are committed to that. And I think it's just refreshing, even here in California, there's a lot of reasonable Democrats, for example, that are starting to speak up and say, listen, this whole thing that we've been going down this path, it's not working. And we're seeing tremendous movements of that needle in California. But you're right. History's the key. We got to teach it.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And those are great comments, too, by the way. You know, one of the other things I was thinking about, well, I had read something that you posted on X about our children. You said that we should be doing everything to protect them. And what do you see right now as the greatest threat against our children? Because honestly, I mean, this is exactly where the enemy would want to come in, whether it is, whether we're talking flesh or spiritual, but they are the future. And we do see a lot coming up against them. Derek Maltz just shared on the fentanyl issues that we have, and there are other drugs coming in too that are so dangerous. You commented on this. I only unfortunately have about 3 minutes, but if you could take those 3 minutes and share what you feel are some of the greatest concerns and what we should do as parents and grandparents.
The greatest concern, it's actually one answer to various things. The greatest concern is that, number one, there's an agenda. There's an agenda to indoctrinate our kids rather than teach them. And if you indoctrinate them and you do not teach them, then you can control them. The other thing is this, same attack though, and that is innocence. What is wrong with innocence? It used to be a virtue. It's an adult attacking the innocence of children, be it this pornographic garbage that's in public schools, that's in public libraries now, that's being found out. What is wrong with innocence? We need to protect children and preserve them as long as possible. The other thing is this, and again, it's all tied together, the war on kids, is that we've got to stop abusing children with bizarre views of their gender and of their ability to mature as a child into adolescence, and so that's become some sort of a crime now. So in a nutshell, Rose, I think that there is this demonic way of thinking that children, instead of being protected, ought to somehow be the victims of an experiment by a social group. And it's just a tragedy. And yet, the Bible tells us in the last days there's going to be profound deception. But you have to allow yourself to be deceived. You don't have to be deceived. And that's why, Rose, you and I are great fans of God's Word. Look, we're not big on Christianity or even versions of Christianity. We want God's truth. And that's where the hope of our children lies. Give the kids the value that they are told in the Bible of what God thinks about them because He loves them.
Amen. Love that. Are you still doing your 8 a.m. Eastern Time prayer time?
Yeah, that sounds really comfortable, 8 a.m. I know.
I know.
Yeah, 5 a.m. throughout the entire year of this year. We're gathering together. There's many, many tens of thousands of people who join me at 5 a.m. Pacific time for a 5-minute, 10-minute time of prayer. You bet.
All right, tell us where to go in 30 seconds.
Simply jackhughes.com. That's jackhughes.com.
I love it. Thank you so much. I love it when you join me on Sean Hannity's show. I really do appreciate that. And also on my podcast, Rose Unplugged. God bless you. Thanks for what you're doing. Keep up the good work, Pastor Jack Hughes. We'll be back with more of the Sean Hannity Show.
Immigration, jobs, healthcare. The news you care about is right here. Hannity Watch is on.
Every business has a story, and every chapter counts. Whether you're growing, rebuilding, or just keeping pace, LendSeek stands with you, offering the funding that keeps your business growing strong. LendSeek proudly funds most industries, from contractors, restaurants, and healthcare providers to online businesses and other professional services. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours using LendSeek's exclusive AI lending platform that connects your business to over 100 funders. No collateral required, no prepayment penalties, no red tape, just the freedom and funding to move your business forward your way. At LendSeek, we know that running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. Business doesn't wait, and neither should your funding. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com. LendSeek. You seek, we lend.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you have oxalate crystal stones, tea time is not your cup of tea. That has changed. The makers of Kidney Cup introduced Veloxa Very Low Oxalate Teas. Teas that are high in flavor, but low in oxalates. Veloxa's delicious proprietary tea blends are scientifically tested to ensure low oxalate levels so you can take back tea time. That's Veloxa, VLOXA, Very Low Oxalate Teas on Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCup.com.
Some big news. Iran is threatening to wipe Israel off the map and destroy America. Now, UN inspectors say Iran is close to getting nuclear weapons, just weeks away. But President Trump vows he won't let them. He's even moved 2 aircraft carriers to the area. This is a big story, and Newsmax's Rob Finnerty is covering it all this week and exposing the real threat. Tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight for Rob's series, Stop Iran, and find out Trump's secret plan to fix this. Watch Finnerty on Newsmax on all major cable systems. President Trump says he watches Newsmax all the time. You should too. So download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone.
I'm not seeing
and
any
sign
chat
up for
if anybody's
Newsmax
here.
Plus to watch us
I don't think
anytime,
anybody is, so this is
anywhere.
0.
Millions are making the switch to Newsmax because it's real news for real people.
At Club Champion, the fitters are true masters of their craft. They undergo weeks of intense training before ever stepping into the fitting bay, ensuring every golfer gets a precise, personalized, and unmatched fitting experience. With over 65 brands at their fingertips, these experts help golfers of all levels unlock their potential. Better clubs mean better golf, and no one does custom fitting like Club Champion. Book your fitting today at clubchampion.com.
Life insurance. What's your excuse for putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think your work coverage is enough? There's a lot of excuses for putting off life insurance, but one big reason why you shouldn't. If the unexpected were to happen to you, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' tuition, and all the other bills? In a time of grief, the last thing you would want is for your family to have to sell the house and struggle to survive financially. At Ethos, we could get you covered in just 10 minutes, and boom, family protected. Rates can increase the longer you wait, so no more excuses. Take 10 minutes today and discover the modern way to get the life insurance coverage you need. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/free to apply today. That's ethos.com/free.
Patriots Channel 125 and on the Sirius XM app.
Go down the slide, then run over to the swings. Another mother strikes up a conversation. You take your eye off your daughter for just a few seconds. You look back at the swings, and she's gone. Your heart drops into your stomach. You jump up, your eyes searching. You cry out her name. Lily? Lily? From the top of the slide, you hear a voice. Go to wirelessamber.org. Sign up for free Amber Alerts on your cell phone. When an Amber Alert is issued in the areas you've chosen, you'll receive a free text message. If you spot the vehicle, the suspect, or the child described in the alert, call 911. Sign up today at wirelessamber.org. A child is calling for help. This message brought to you by the Wireless Foundation, the U.S. Department of Justice, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and the Ad Council.
The Sean Hannity Show. Coming up next is Congressman Buddy Carter. We've got some really interesting things to talk about and what he thinks about those three representatives that stormed Delaney Hall in New Jersey last week. So we'll do that. Also, we'll take your phone calls, so get them in now so that you are in queue because I want to talk to you. 1-800-941-SEAN. 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 Also, just follow me on social media. It's Rose Unplugged on most outlets. Also, my ministry is She Is Called by Him. You can find that on web, also Instagram. She Is Called. And we do take prayer requests there. You can leave them, and it's kept very confidential. And we have a team of women praying, and they don't just do it one and done. They continually pray for you. And don't forget to check out my podcast. It's Rose Unplugged on Rumble and Real Life Network and other platforms as well. On the Rumble Real Life Network, if you subscribe, then we'll let you know when a new podcast has come out. So that's Rose Unplugged on just about everything. All right, so make sure you call me. Don't go away because we've got Buddy Carter joining us. Some great information coming from him right after all of this. But call. Get in line. I'm going to talk to you. I love talking to Sean's audience.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Profiting from the financial markets has never been easier. TrueTrade introduces the world's first one-click AI-assisted trading platform. No trading experience? No problem. Just purchase their platform, connect your trading account, download their mobile app, and turn it on. It's that simple. No need to worry about what or when to trade. With just one click, their AI software handles everything for you. No learning, no experience, no headaches. Whether you're trading a single account or managing an entire portfolio, TrueTrade software runs on autopilot with its AI risk management protecting your downside. Don't have funds to trade with? No problem. TrueTrade offers an unprecedented money-back guarantee on their software. Plus, get a guarantee of at least $300,000 in tradable funds. You keep the profits. Join thousands worldwide who are already profiting from their AI-driven trade technology. Are you ready to step up your cash flow? Head over.
Hello, this is Angel from Goodleap on a recorded line. Am I speaking to Norman?
Yeah.
You said yes?
Yes.
Perfect. We're the company that provided the financing for your water efficiency loan.
Yes.
Calling today about our Gold Green Advantage program. This program allows us to offer you up to 20% credit based upon your current home improvement loan balance, which could reduce your monthly expenses. So how long have you on the loan?
I'm not interested. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This is Patriot. Conservative principles live here.
We've reached a breakthrough trade deal with the United Kingdom. With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade.
This is Sirius XM Patriot. Andrew Wilkow.
The biggest compliments I get on this program are you found this program and you spent some time listening to it.
You're not just a listener. You're part of the Wilkow majority.
The other is my Democrat friend says this. What do I say back?
Facts, arguments, and firepower to win the debate.
And I used one of your arguments, and it worked.
Andrew Wilkow and the Wilkow majority. Weekdays, 2 to 3 p.m. East.
On Sirius XM Patriot 125. That's one of the greatest compliments I can get.
Breitbart News Saturday.
Matt Boyle, this is a place where this show right here, this platform we've built here is something truly historic and different.
Your Saturday destination.
President Donald Trump,
You've been great, and Breitbart's been fantastic.
the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Jim Jordan. We have on the line right now Governor Doug Vernon from the great state of North Dakota.
Breitbart News Saturday. Matt Boyle.
We are the real change.
Live Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. East. Exclusively on Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125.
News is our townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump's sweeping tax bill failed to clear a key procedural hurdle today as hardline Republicans demanded deeper spending cuts and blocked the measure.
It does not do what we say it does with respect to deficits. Fact of the matter is, on the spending we're dealing with here on tax cuts and spending, a massive front-loaded deficit increase. That's the truth. That's the truth. Deficits will go up in the first half of the 10-year budget window, and we all know it's true. And we shouldn't do that.
Four GOP conservatives initially voted against it, demanding further cuts to Medicaid and green energy tax breaks. Cliff switched his vote in a procedural step so it could be reconsidered later and says he's confident they'll get this done. Consumer sentiment has dropped to its lowest level in 3 years.
The University of Michigan's closely watched Consumer Sentiment Index shows that Americans are increasingly worried that President Trump's trade war will worsen inflation. The index is down for the 5th straight month. Since January, sentiment has tumbled nearly 30%. Even though the U.S. and China have paused some tariffs, import taxes remain historically high. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The first direct Russia-Ukraine peace talks since the early weeks of Moscow's 2022 invasion ended after less than 2 hours. While both sides agreed on a larger prisoner swap, they clearly remain far apart on key conditions for ending the fighting. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he discussed the talks with President Trump. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 332 points, the Nasdaq rose 98. More at townhall.com.
If you're living with pain, see how the factor can help.
If anybody's chatting, I can't see
I
it.
listen to the radio all day. I'm hearing the ads about Relief Factor, and I've got pain in my neck, and it's getting worse. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead and order this. 2 weeks later, I've got much better range of motion. If you're experiencing pain at a certain point in life, I would get Relief Factor.
Fight pain with Relief Factor. Go to relieffactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come with Squib and Pfizer.
A Texas mother is in deep trouble.
The mother is accused of buying her 13-year-old son ammunition and tactical gear. Police say he was planning mass violence at his school. The mother has been charged with aiding in the commission of terrorism. Authorities in San Antonio said the boy's mother had previously been contacted by police, her son's school, and Child Protective Services with concerns about the boy. She's free on $75,000 bond. The boy has been charged with terrorism and remains in custody. John Scott reporting.
New Jersey Transit train engineers have gone on strike in a dispute over wages.
leaving an estimated 350,000 commuters in New Jersey and New York City to seek other means to reach their destinations or consider staying at home. The latest round of negotiations didn't produce an agreement. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details. I need a coffee. And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code SIRIUS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Attention business owners. This is Jason Evans. I've spent the last 3.5 decades helping companies create serious business breakthroughs, and I want to help you like never before. I built a serious training program called 3 Ways to Double Sales in 12 Months. We're going to give this to any business owner that calls us at 800-500-8320. Just call with your email address, and we'll email you this phenomenal video training program at our expense, not yours. It's an incredible gift. See if you agree. 3 Ways to Double Sales in 12 months.
I took Jason's training less than a year ago. This year alone, Jason has made my training explode as far as my sales growth by over 250%. I'm expecting on doing close to $5 to $6 million gross this year just off of his training.
Again, call with your email address and we'll give you a program that others have paid dearly to receive. 800-500-8320. 800-500-8320. That's 800-500-8320. Paid for by Power Sales University.
Kennedy, today you're going to follow Jesus. And by 10 o'clock, I still want to follow Jesus, but I also want to slap the hell out of somebody.
Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the revolution. Information on breaking news and more bold, inspired solutions for America.
Welcome back to the Sean Hannity Show. Sean will be back on Monday. He had the opportunity, what a great opportunity it was to travel with President Trump on his Middle East tour. And we're going to talk a little more about that later in the show, but it was a great success. And welcome back, Sean. He'll be back Monday to do the show. In the meantime, today, I'm so thrilled because I know people that are close to me that know this guest, knows him very well, and they just think he's awesome. So do I. I've met him before. He is the Georgia U.S. Representative Buddy Carter. He just recently entered the race for U.S. Senate, and he's currently releasing an ad that identifies himself as a MAGA warrior, and that he is. Welcome to the show, Congressman Carter. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Rose. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and you are a good guy. You're one of the good ones. And the people I love and trust love you, and that's enough for me, too. But I've seen your work. I know what you're doing, and you're doing great things for this country, so thank you.
Well, thank you. You're very kind. I appreciate that.
There's lots going on, so let's start with the resolution that you recently introduced, and it is to strip the New Jersey Democrats that rushed Delaney Hall. And those Democrats are Menendez, Watson Coleman and LaMonica McIver, they are, you want to strip them of their committee assignments. How's that going?
Well, it's going well. We've introduced the bill, and we've been in touch with leadership. We've asked them, to please put the bill forward, and I hope that it will get a vote. It deserves a vote. Look, we teach our children that actions have consequences, and if they want to act like children, they need to be treated like children, and they need to have consequences. This job, I take very seriously, and I think most of us up here, the vast majority of us, take it very seriously. And this kind of action, this is unacceptable for members of Congress. And we want to, when we serve on committees, we want to serve with serious people who, we may argue or disagree about policy, but we're very serious about what we're trying to do here.
And they should be, and you should be. What if it were you, Congressman Carter, who had done that? What do you expect the reaction would have been from Democrats?
Well, from Democrats, they would have been hollering. There's no question about that. They would have been up in arms and certainly demanding that something be done, that there be consequences for my actions, that I've done something so foolish as this. And, we've all acting backwards this week to honor as we should our police, and we should do it all the time. But then for something like this to happen during this time, or any time really, is just despicable.
I think American people too, I don't think it matters what side of the aisle we're on. I think a lot of us have just about had a handstand, and what they were willing to do in that advocacy, it's just appalling. I mean, we were talking about gang members, murderers. This was a relatively horrible group of people, that were inside.
I couldn't disagree with them more. I don't think they were. I mean, a member of Congress would rather raise an ICE facility to try to defend a criminal, illegal immigrant than represent their own constituents. I mean, seriously, Rose, if I wanted to work with clowns, I would have joined the circus. I mean, it's ridiculous.
What's done in this country. Trump is telling drug makers to cut prices to most favored nation pricing. And then China owns our generic drug supply chain, basically, right? Am I right about that, Congressman?
Oh, you are absolutely right. And we personal protection equipment and the amount of drugs that were being sent from China over here, we noticed a downtick in the fall of 2019. Just a lesson right there that we need pharmaceutical independence in this country.